Well, boys, today is tomorrow and Hasan Pikers in the news because this man decided to essentially snitch on himself. And of course, the Hasan Glazers, they're all trying to make it seem like he would never do anything nefarious ever in his life. Actually, he's a good little boy, good little noodle, he's a good little student. Just like anyone that interacts with the video with liking and also commenting, that's how you stay within the algorithm, boys. Just letting you know, hey, come on, let's lock in, get in the algorithm, stay within it. You good? You good? You interacted with the video? If you're new, did you subscribe? And also, don't forget to watch another video. I got plenty of videos on this channel. That is the best way to help out the channel, by the way, Chad. Literally, once you're done watching this one, go watch another one of my videos. But other than that, let's get back to the video. But no one's buying his explanation of his dog yelping the other day, unless they're a Hasan fanboy. I'm like, boys, the most fence-riding man known to creator kind, Moist Critikal, was even critical of Hasan Piker in his video the other day. Like, the man sounded extremely nervous going against the grain of content creation of never ever criticizing Hasan Piker unless you want to be ostracized by the elites of content creation. I'm like, the man sounded like he had a goddamn Mossad agent against his fucking back with a goddamn sniper, and he was just telling the truth. He was just letting it rip. He was like, fuck it, I'ma die for it. And you know what? It's beautiful to see, because even Moist Critikal was like, brother, you are abusing your dog. Like, it's straight up, he's abusing his dog. Like, he straight up is abusing his dog. And the explanation of her clipping her dewclaw, which is like, you know, a higher up part of the claw that doesn't need to be used anymore by dogs and is very sensitive, just makes no sense, because if you look at the thing, it doesn't even look like she ever touched her dewclaw on anything.
And then goes on to say that she's spoiled because his mother lets her, you know, have free roam around the house. Now, he and the community are claiming that he didn't use a shock collar or anything, didn't like zap her, you know, fucking Palpatine lightning blast her or anything like that. She got her dewclaw stuck on that spot, and that's what made her yelp in pain. It is a sensitive area. That is true. If you've ever cut your dog's nails, or if you've ever taken your dog to like a dog salon or something and they like gave your dog a nail trim, you probably noticed that when it comes to the dewclaw, they're very, defensive on it, like cautious, because it is such a tender spot. I have watched this clip like fucking 10 or 15 times now. And today I had some friends come in from out of town, so obviously I've been out most of the day at the farm, and this was actually a conversational topic. It's become so big that it was brought up by them. And every single person, and pretty much everyone I've seen online outside of Hasan and Hasan's community, is all saying the same thing. That yes, it looks like the dog does like touch its leg to that spot on the bed, but it doesn't look like it gets caught or anything. So it feels very unlikely that that is what caused the dog to scream in pain. Like, I don't think that's what made Kaya, that's her name, yelp. It doesn't seem to get caught or snagged on anything, and dewclaws aren't so sensitive and so tender that even touching them would cause like a panicked scream or anything.
Sometimes I feel like someone that is a fence rider is a great asset, especially in the content creation community, because this man, I want to be honest, he rarely, if I don't even think ever, speaks out against Hasan in his little debacles at all. I'm like, in general. So the fact that even Moist Critikal came out and said, brother, you're just lying. You're just lying. We can all see it. You're just lying. Is something that everyone has to take into account. That, yeah, even the most like nonchalant, I will give you the benefit of a doubt person is even saying, why are you lying? What are you doing? And obviously, earlier yesterday, this man Hasan Piker, he decided to finally show this fucking collar, right? I'm already sitting here thinking to myself, this man probably already switched it out, which apparently he didn't. He basically did just show the shock collar, except for he's like, it also has a vibrating function, and just omits the shocking function. He puts black tape over where the prongs can go, and plus, if you guys don't know, on shock collars, you can remove the prongs as well. So he just took off the prongs, put black tape over it, and then showed the collar. The next stream, which I'm just sitting here like, he was streaming while this whole entire drama was going down, and for some reason throughout that whole entire day the other day, He did not want to show the collar at all, but for some reason he had a coming to Jesus moment. He was like, oh, well, today I can show the collar. It's like, well, you already tainted anything that we would believe. If he took it off midstream and showed it to, we'd be like, all right, you know what? We were in the wrong. Sorry, Hasan. But I'm like, him showing the collar actually showed that it had a shocking capability. Like, it had the function to shock.
This is the one that people are talking about. Okay, this is the one. This is the one that they saw. It has the capacity to vibrate, and that's it. Are you happy? That's it. Good. There's the air tag. There's the fucking vibrator. It also has a flashlight component to it at nighttime, and it also has a tracker on it when she gets lost. If she were to actually get fucking lost, you are able to, it emits a sound. Okay?
So if it has a tracker in the collar, what's the point of the air tag? The air tag whole function is to track and emit sounds whenever you lose something with it. What? And of course, obviously, everyone, whenever they saw this, they were like trying their best to look at what he had in his hands because he was holding that bitch, all right? He was gripping on that thing like whenever I get a $20 bill in my hand, I ain't letting go, Chad. I am not letting go if I got a $20 bill. You gonna have to fight me. He was gripping that bitch.
Here, this is the flashlight.
Bro, stop putting your fingers on it, man. Christ. Jesus, man.
Okay. And this is when it vibrates.
What? Guys, let me show you my new, guys, I just got a new controller, guys. Let me show you to guys. I'm gonna show it. Ready? See? I just bought it. It's brand new. Do you guys see it? It's right here. Like, come on, bro. What, bro? It's not hard to just like self-debunk for like 2 minutes, man. Like, it's not hard, man.
I'm like, exactly. That boy was palming that thing. He was not letting go. He was not trying to hold it by the little other end so he could like twirl around and show the whole thing. That boy was holding that bitch. But we got just enough information from him gripping onto it, all right, wildly, to find the potential make and model of the shock collar. Now, even though it is pretty evident that he put tape over the holes of where, the prongs would go, most shock collars, you're able to take the prongs out. It's still evident what this is, right? It's still evident that this has more capabilities than he's leading on. So after Hasan, I guess stupidly, showed off the collar finally, people were able to quickly recognize the collar and be like, oh yeah, that definitely is a shock collar. Maybe on the box it didn't say shock collar deluxe 3418, but it has shocking capabilities. So people were able to narrow it down to a few different makes and models that look exactly similar to the one that he has, and all of them have shocking capabilities. Whenever Hasan says it just has vibrating capabilities, which still, wait, hold up. Before we even get into the shocking part, right? Either way, the way that he treated his dog in that clip was horrible. It doesn't matter if he did or didn't shock her. The way that he treated her in that clip was horrible. It was bad. Literally, the dog yelped out in pain, and instead of being a good owner and going over there be like, oh my god, yo, are you alright? Seeing that he didn't shock her, so he doesn't know why she's in pain. He just looked at her and said, oh my god, you're spoiled, baby. Like, Chad, anyone that has had a pet and you heard it cry out in pain, you wouldn't be like, oh my god, you're just being a spoiled baby. You like, oh my god, you okay? Yo, let me look. Are you fine? You try to touch them, make sure they're fine. If they are fine, you leave them alone. If they're not, you take them to the vet hospital. But he did none of that. He just looked at her, called her a big baby as she like cried, yelping in the corner. It's like, brother, you're already a terrible pet owner. On top of that, Moist Critikal, or Penguin Zeros, whatever you want to call them, in his video was talking about how he's using the place training wrong. Because for dogs, if you guys don't know, place is supposed to be their happy spot, right? Their comfortable spot where they go and they relax. But obviously, if you're going to be place training them, you shouldn't be place training them where you're going to be stressing the fuck out all goddamn day. And he place trained her to be in his office where he's screaming at a monitor for 8 hours a day. And he forces her to stay there, which is an extremely stressful environment for anybody, let alone a dog.
He mentioned place training. Place is an actual dog training thing. And the whole idea behind it is designating a spot in a comfortable location for your pet. For a lot of people, I know it's like their office if they work from home. And Hasan was talking about how that area is her place. And for dog training, place is supposed to be like their happy spot where they are super safe and they feel super secure. And the way training goes with this, at least from everything I know about dog training, now keep in mind, when we first got Tetra, we did do dog training because my grandmother used to live with my parents, and Tetra gets very excited to see people. It's the cutest thing in the world, but she loves to jump on people. And my grandma, living at my parents, when we'd go to visit, or if they came to visit, if Tetra would jump on her, it could cause injury. So we did do dog training in order to learn how to, like, help with that. We didn't do any, like, fear training or anything like that with shock collars or whatever, but place was something that we did learn about. And when it comes to place, you do not want to, like, make it something stressful for the animal, at least in our teachings. It's supposed to be a comforting spot for them, not like a stressful thing where they just go there and fucking, like, you know, blue screen in the brain and just sit there idly comatose. And if they don't, they get punished. So he's calling this her place, but when she's moving from the place, he's scolding her. That's not what we were taught you're supposed to do when it comes to place training. That kind of defeats the purpose of it. I don't know why he would be getting so upset at that, like angry at the dog for moving from place. That really does kind of defeat the whole purpose of it. And then in that clip, it seems like he reaches for something. Like he looks off screen and he extends his arm to something, and then shortly thereafter, the dog yelps in pain, and Hasan turns around and calls her a baby, and then tries to reassure the chat that she is spoiled, and then goes on to say that she's spoiled because his mother lets her, you know, have free roam around the house.
So yeah, he's already misusing the command. He's like just straight up misusing it because A, he's forcing her to stay in a spot, not of her, you know, free will or actual her just wanting to be there in general in a spot where she feels comfortable. He's forcing her there in a spot where she feels stressed out. Obviously, the dog doesn't like the spot. It just doesn't like the spot whenever it tries to get up and walk away, and its first instinct as soon as you turn around is to walk back onto the bed. Like, it doesn't do like, oh my god, my human looked at me. It's like, okay, I'm sorry, go back. Like, obviously, even if he was in the right by saying, oh well, she's supposed to stay in her place, you were correcting her for taking a paw or two off the bed. Like, brother, come on. Like, there's no way anyone can be like, oh no, that's the correct way to deal with your dog and train with. Like, you're not training them with any amount of love. That is straight up, you're just training fear. You're literally just training fear into them. But getting back on the topic of, you know, the collar and its capabilities, that for some reason he was leaving out one of the more, you know, nefarious capabilities of the collar. Even if he didn't use it, him just omitting it already shows that, yeah, what's the point of you having this collar with this capability on it? But obviously, Detective XQC was on the scene. Well, his chat, you know, the people that actually know shit. But Detective XQC and chat were on the scene to show that the collar that he has, most likely, like 99.999, I mean, like, it is a small percentage of a chance that it doesn't have a shocking capability, because it most likely does.
Hold on. What is that? Bang, 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 bang. So that, what is that? The canine handler. I don't know. They need to get better names of this shit. Yo, the handler. Come on, bro. Tactical collar. Jesus. So which model is that? Is that the one you linked earlier? Is that confirmed? 280 dog. Yeah, it's another one. The one that has a top at the top. The one that has a top at the top.
But there's one more damning piece of evidence that shows that this man, at least in the past, maybe him not personally, but someone who did train his dog, there's a reason why he says his dog is one of the best trained, one of the most professionally trained, did use a shock collar on her, or at least has it within their regimen of how they train dogs. Because literally at the Faze house, whenever Faze Lacy got his new dog and he was trying to get it trained and he was asking around for trainers, someone talked about how their dog and Hasan's dog was trained by the same guy, and that guy literally uses shock collars to train their dogs. And they were just like, the guy just blurted it out, and no one even blinked, like, huh? Excuse me, my dog is not going to be used a shock collar on. I'm just not going to allow that person to, train my dog. Like, they just thought it was a normal thing to brag about. Like, yeah, our dogs are so well trained because this professional trainer, the best in LA, uses a shock collar on dogs.
I have the best trainer in San Diego.
Oh yeah.
His name is Pat. Do you send him for 2 weeks?
He trained my dog too.
And my dog.
Brian.
You sent him for 2 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks. You have to, bro.
What does he get trained to do?
To everything. Shock on, prong collar, shock collar.
He'll get training to like
Kaya?
basically be off collar.
Do you know
Like you
Kaya?
don't need to ever have a leash on him.
Really?
Do you know Kaya?
My dog?
Cooking with Kaya?
No, my dog.
Oh, no.
Well, dude, we have the
Oh,
best.
yeah, I met your dog. It's
Yes.
basketball man.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have the best
She's
dogs.
very well trained.
The guy clearly says shock collar. I mean, like, brother. Hasan doesn't even try to clarify. No, he doesn't use shock collars. Why would he use a shock collar on a dog? That is barbaric. No, he doesn't even try to correct the person. He's just like, oh yeah, they do use shock collars. That's why Kaya is so well trained. She's afraid of getting, shocked again. I'm just saying. Now, this last video that I want to show you guys is another piece of evidence of him just abusing dogs in general. This wasn't Kaya because this was his last dog before it died, and I'm just saying this man is just a real piece of work. Now, I'm going to have to blur out a couple parts because there's actual animal abuse in it, material, so I'm going to blur out a couple parts here, but he literally pulls his dog tail whenever it tries to walk away from him. By the way, he could have easily just picked it up. Hasan's a big dude, and this wasn't a huge dog, by the way. On top of that, he says he's going to kill his dog on his stream if it doesn't listen to him. The man's a piece of shit.
Motherfucker, come here. Stay. If you run right now, I'll fucking kill you. Like, I'll actually kill you, okay? In front of everyone. Stay.
So, yeah, the man's an actual piece of shit. I feel like pulling a dog's tail is something you don't need to learn, / at max will learn by the age of 5 whenever you first interact with one, if you ever have. Because if you don't know, there's this wild concept of actually the tail is connected to a vital part of the dog that you also have called a spine, and it can cause spinal injuries if you pull it too hard. I know, Chad, actually pulling body parts of creatures against their wills could actually potentially hurt them. Now, in the next part of the clip, he did use the harness, something that he should use on Kaya instead of a collar if it's, too tight around her neck. We already talked about that in the last video. But he did use the harness. But the way that he talked to his dog is disgusting. Why would you tell it you are going to kill it? I understand the dog doesn't actually understand the words. But as humans, we understand the words, right? As humans, we can see that is disgusting behavior. Why would you say, I'm going to kill you in front of everyone? Who the fuck says that? In general. To anyone / anything. Now, there have been some Hasan dick writers that will say, well, my Higa never said anything. She's the animal sanctuary girl. And, he had other friends around the dog, and they never talked about it having a shock collar. And me and Moist Critikal are in the same position where we're like, well, yeah, why would you abuse your dog in front of your friends? On top of that, powerful people that could ruin your career if they see you doing this. Like, we can all say Hasan's not the brightest bulb in the room, but I think he has some kind of a goddamn brain up there. Like, something's up there, like, neurons are firing off. He can realize, yeah, don't put the shock collar on the dog whenever the people are around. That's why the dog doesn't have a collar most of the time whenever people are around. He just takes it off.
Of course, people take it a step further, saying none of his friends have ever called him out for using a shock collar, thus this has to be a load of, fucking horseradish. I think this is a very weak argument. Because I know if Hasan does use a shock collar, he would never let any of his friends see that, because he would know that they would call him out for it and give him shit for it, especially someone like Maya. So they just wouldn't know. Thus, they wouldn't be able to call him out on it or anything like that. And this whole idea of making an assumption based on things that are outside of what is clearly visible here, I think is useless. Just because you haven't seen it in the past on stream doesn't mean it's not something he's done before, or it is very possible this was the first time. That's also very true too. What are shock collars used for? Training. And what is he currently doing with Kaya, at least based on what I've heard him talk about? Training her, or at least expanding the training on place. So maybe he decided that this might be a good tool to use for the first time. That's also entirely possible. It's not some like far-fetched crazy conspiracies that only haters are drumming up and, falling in line with. It's a very plausible thing based on what is clearly visible in the clips.
But for some reason, for people, that's like a weird concept. You can just take the collar off. You can take it off. Like, people try to use the fact that they never complained about a shock collar on the dog. Whenever they go visit a dog, it never has a collar on. It's like, yeah, you can't complain about something you don't see. I mean, like, it's pretty evident that Hasan is not a good carer of animals in general. I'm like, hell, his last dog, there were clips of him abusing it. And then on top of that, he has torture devices for that dog. I'm like, literally a inverted spiked collar. He literally had an inverted spiked collar for his last dog. How do we know he just doesn't use that on Kai when people aren't around? Like, he's not a good person. Like, he's just not a good person with animals. And it's pretty weird and disgusting to see people try to defend this behavior because they're sycophants. They're sycophants and they're dick riders and they're clout chasers. All right, let's just call them what they are. Because this is deplorable behavior. He has clearly shown that, yes, he is lying about the collar not having shocking capabilities because he's not giving out the exact model of it. On top of that, he put duct tape around the part where the prongs would go to hide the fact that, it has the capability of shocking. On top of that, his behavior with the dog in general is already just out of line. The dog tries to take a step off the mat and he goes off on it, talking about some go back to your place. It's just like, she wants to stretch her legs. Let her stretch her legs. Like, what? Brother. And then on top of that, whenever it gets hurt, he has zero concern for it. Just zero concern at all. His last dog, he pulled his tail that could have gave it spinal injuries. He has said he was going to kill it. I mean, like, it randomly died one day. I wonder what happened. On top of that, he used a spike collar on it. Like, my guy, I don't think you can just say, oh no, those are just all coinkydinks. There's no way you can just say they're all coinkydinks. Maybe one time you can say he got frustrated, but this is a pattern of behavior. And instead of people trying to keep this on topic of animal abuse is disgusting and bad, now everyone is saying, do you really care about the dog or are you some far right? It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here. Like, every criticism now of Hasan has to be from some far right lunatic whenever any basic person can say, yeah, what you're doing is disgusting to your dog. That is gross. The past behavior you have done with other dogs is gross. Like, no one has to be sitting here like, no, but politically, I care about Palestine, so I cannot criticize him about his dog. Like, what the fuck does this man do for any political movement in general? It just seems like he destroys everything he comes by. But for some reason, people think he's like the second coming of fucking Jesus or some shit, and he's just going to right the ship. Like, politically, he has done nothing that actually has helped anyone. The people that he has done content with politically have had their political candidacy hurt. He's toxic to anyone. Like, someone could be like the most perfect candidate ever that everyone loves, left, right, doesn't matter. If Hasan supports him and was able to get an interview with them, instantly half the people would hate on them just because he is so politically toxic to people. Like, Hasan is extremely politically divisive, but for some reason his followers try to act like he's going to change the game of politics. It's one thing if you're like, oh, I just like this sort of, policies. It's another thing where they're like, no, these policies are this way. They can only be this way. And it's got to be this extreme. No one likes that, like, at all. And this man is an extremist in his own case. So anyone that tries to do anything with him just gets hurt. And here we are with his dog getting hurt. And the extreme part of his fan base are now trying to say, well, you know what? Even if he did do it, do you care? You're just trying to hurt him politically. You will never be able to lock these people down, right? Their brains are just so expanded, all right? They're gymnasts with this. Like, they went from saying, no, the dewclaw got stuck, and that's why Kaya yelped, and then people were like, no, it didn't. And so they had to jump to, well, why would Hasan ever use a shock collar? So then people showed that there's a green light blinking on the collar. It has electricity surging through it at some point doing something, to then saying, oh, well, it's a vibrating collar. Even though a lot of vibrating collars also have shocking capabilities, and he also put black tape over the prongs. So now whenever it's shown that he's trying to hide the shocking capability of the collar, now is, do you really care about the dog, or are you just trying to hurt him politically? Like, they just forego the whole point of this conversation of animal abuse is bad to trying to say you're trying to hurt him politically. And it's disgusting to see. It's disgusting to see anyone do this on any side of politics. You now have foregone the whole entire conversation to a thinly veiled excuse of trying to hurt someone politically, which, who cares? Yeah, who cares if someone's trying to hurt them politically? If you're doing something bad, you probably shouldn't be doing anything politically. It's like saying, oh my God, so what if this person touched a child 10 years ago whenever they were 25 and the child was 13? Like, who cares? And you just have to sit there, you're just like, excuse me? I care? They shouldn't be in politics. Like, what? Yeah, I don't want that person making policies anymore. That's a bad person. Like, we can all agree, yeah, that's bad. But these people will be like, well, no, he has my politics. It's like, a lot of people have your politics. Choose a different one that hasn't touched a child. Like, what? Just like abusing your dog, because this man is so disgusting. If you guys didn't see the last video, go ahead and click on it and, you know, see what happened and why I had to make a follow-up video and why everyone's still outraged. But other than that, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you all tomorrow.